Okay, welcome to Bounce Around Charleston. Today we have a wonderful show lined up for you. I have here with me Mark Sloan, Director and Chief Curator of the Halsey Institute of Contemporary Art, and Anghard Chester Jones of Reagan Communications. She's a PR rep for the Halsey Institute of Contemporary Art at the College of Charleston. And they're going to present a solo exhibition entitled Fahamu Pecou's Do or Die. Welcome to Bounce Around Charleston.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having us.
That's a whole lot I just said. So Mark, why don't you tell us what's happening here?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Well, we're bringing in the work of Fahamu Pecou, who's a visual artist, but he also works in a variety of media. He's also a hip-hop artist, musician, filmmaker. He makes drawings, paintings, photographs, sculpture, installations. He works on all of these platforms at the same time. He also does performance involving, he's very interested in Yoruba spirituality.
Yoruba, I've heard of Yoruba.
Yeah, so he's incorporating that into his work as a way to, the show with the title Do or Die, and the subtitle is Affect, Ritual, and Resistance. And so he's trying to, in the face of what he calls the spectacle of Black Death, very serious topic, certainly one that's unfortunately very topical.
Right now, yes it is.
Right now, well it has been for a while, but he has been exploring that and in his work, and he talks about how black bodies have been under fire for so long, from slavery days till now, and he's interested in trying to posit the idea that art can be a form of resistance.
I'm reading here where it says he seeks to elevate and recontextualize Black life and death. Explain that.
Well, he's interested in showing that in Yoruba or Ifa spiritual belief system, that death is not the end.
It's not the end.
Right, that it is part of a cycle, and that we all have this cyclic nature. So he's hoping that by presenting this idea of spirituality being a part of this art experience and elevating it and using ritual, he's hoping that people will not feel such a sense of despair, that there will be a sense of hope as well.
Okay. Now, Anghard,
yes,
as a PR person, what is your role in all of this?
So I help publicize the different aspects of the event and the exhibit. There are many things that are going on with just not even the opening, but throughout his time at the Halsey, which opens on August 26th, which is next Friday.
Yes.
And it's very exciting. I'll let Mark tell a little bit about the processions that are starting, that begin the exhibit opening and then follow to the Halsey Institute.
And how is hip-hop tied into all of this?
Well, good question. So Fahamu uses hip-hop culture and the kind of the structures and the rhythms of hip-hop as a way to, as a form of communication. He sees that as a way of extending the footprint of his work outside of the gallery walls. It's available through Spotify and Vimeo and all these other websites and that kind of thing. And it gives it much stronger legs to run beyond a museum exhibit, which is only inside, but he uses hip-hop music and the culture to kind of help spread the word about his projects.
And reach different demographics, you know, especially the youth.
Yeah,
He's very interested in reaching the youth.
Okay, now, the Emmett Still single, what is that?
Well, he created a video and single EP, a hip-hop record essentially, called Emmett Still, and it's using the name Emmett Till, who was a young African-American boy from Chicago who was brutally murdered in 1954, I believe. And his trial was a sham trial in Sumner, Mississippi. The two killers were let go. They were released, and then years later they confessed. But because they couldn't be tried for the same crime twice, they were let go. I mean, but they admitted that they killed Emmett Till.
Wow.
So that was one of the lightning rods that began the civil rights movement in a very big way. It was just an injustice that has never been righted. And so Fahamu revisits that with Emmett Still, and he kind of talks about how that kind of thing is still happening to this day and in our culture.
So we're going to see that also?
Yes, that's a part of it. It's a 14.5-minute video a fiction film that he made that traces the life of a young African American man in America today.
Okay, and this is August the 26th through October the 8th.
Correct.
So all of those days we're going to be able to be a part of this event.
Right.
Yes, and we actually have something also very exciting called intercessions, which is something else that Fahamu participates in, another way of spreading his message, and that is happening on September 9th, and the hip-hop artist Killer Mike is also joining him in this discussion. It's an open forum where they discuss openly about different topics, starting with the topic of his art and then kind of exploring where it goes.
It's also the intercessions thing on September 9th with Killer Mike is also a discussion with Dr. Arturo Lindsay, who is a scholar and Afro-Panamanian artist who lives in Atlanta and is Fahamu Pecou's mentor.
So we're going to get a lot in those days.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And Yoruba is a very interesting form of I'll say spirituality.
Yes.
Yes, very, very interesting.
Yes, it is.
So Fahamu is an initiate in the Yoruba tradition. So he's now learning the methods and all of that. I don't know if he's training to be a priest or what his interest is in it, other than he's just fascinated by the subject. And he's interested in the way so much of our culture today is informed by West African beliefs, folk beliefs and things like that. We talk about haint blue here in Charleston, people painting the underside of their porches haint blue. Well, most people don't realize that that's a carryover from Yoruba traditions.
Wow.
Haints are unsorted souls. They're people who are in limbo between the land of the living and the land of the dead, and they come to haunt your house, and they're afraid of water, and so you paint the porch blue, and most people don't know that.
I will tell you this, and then I know we've got to wrap. I have a very good friend who was real caught up into Yoruba. So when it would rain, he would put cups outside to catch the water, because he said the water from the rain helped with warding off spirits and stuff like that.
Yes. Well, it is interesting that Martha Stewart and Benjamin Moore and Sherwin Williams all have a color called haint blue.
Wow. Okay, now, Ms. PR, Anghard?
Yes.
Give us the dates and times and where you want us to be.
Okay, so the opening procession, we're going to have a procession that starts at the waterfront.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. on August 26th.
Okay.
And Fahamu will lead that with a drummer and then another Yoruba priest, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. And then they will make their way down to the Halsey Institute, where there's an open reception for the public, and all are welcome.
6:30 to 8 p.m. is the opening reception on the 26th.
Yes.
Okay, and what is the address?
161 Calhoun Street, downtown Charleston, on the corner of Calhoun and St. Philip. 4 parking garages within a 4-block area.
Okay, and the website?
halsey.cfc.edu.
Okay, you heard it right here on Bounce Around Charleston. I do believe it would be a very interesting time for you from August the 26th through October the 8th to come out and witness all of this. Thank you for being here on Bounce Around Charleston.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back after this break.